Does this work? Can you guys hear me? My mic says it should be okay. Just let me know in the chat. Autofocus is going crazy. Okay, if I face the camera, it recognizes me. Hey, cool. So sound is okay. It works. Perfect. That is new. These live streams, I say it every time, but they're always nerve-wracking. Less from just doing it and less from talking to the camera. Oh my God, what do I do if the equipment fails? What do I do? Robot voice. Uh-oh. Do I have a robot? Sound is good. Sound is like terrific. Okay. Love your project. Robot voice. Let's see. Maybe, hold on. Let's try, because robot voice is not acceptable, but it doesn't seem to be peaking here. I don't know. I don't know. It should be okay. What kind of, I'll fix now. Okay, good. Autofocus is still, I have this, I am not very happy with this lens that I'm using. A couple months ago, I bought the Canon R5. And the cool thing is Canon makes a new lens for the R series. It's a 50 millimeter with a 1.8 aperture, which is really good. And it costs 200 euros, which is super awesome if you want to film in the shop, because you know the thing, like, but the autofocus is killing me. I don't know what it does. It's so, I mean, now it works, of course, but when I'm filming, it responds super weird. So if you have that lens, around this, because it's driving me nuts. Yes, the price is spectacular. Jim's video is euros for 51.8. For that much money? 200 euros for a 1.8 lens, I think is good. 200 euros. I mean, the other lenses cost way beyond like 2,000 euros, the zoom lenses. Whatever, I am not here to talk about lenses. Today I want to talk about motivation, because this is one question that I get all the time, because I produce so much stuff that people ask me, how do you stay motivated? How do you get this all started? And how do you not lose interest or steam during the projects? I think that's a really cool question. And I think I have some tricks or tips that I could share with you. But first, let's do some updates. Oh man, I want to be with you in the chat. That's why I love the premieres. Usually I'm doing the premieres on Sunday to present my new video. And I am much more in the chat in the premieres, because I know the video, I don't have to do anything other than read your comments and answer your questions and just, chat with you. I enjoy this much more than the monologues, but these live streams are so freaking helpful to keep my shop in check, to keep myself in check, because producing a video every week, for those of you who are on this madness YouTube schedule, or on not even YouTube, but if you have like clients and working 7 days a week, it is so nice to take a break. And it's not that I'm like playing video games the whole time on these weeks off. There's so much in the background to do. And last week, I spent the whole time, except yesterday afternoon, where I was just lazy. But the other days, I cleaned my shop, and it's spotless. It has never been like this. So I think I've been here for 2 years now, almost 2 years. The shop has never been that nice, and it took 6.5 days to get it that way, but it was super worth it. And let me tell you guys, a forklift makes all the difference. Like, I built a new platform with super heavy 6-meter wood beams, no problem at all. Like, and the cool thing is, a forklift is not only a helper, like a very strong, helping hand. It's also a height adjustable workbench. So just picking up the beams, driving them to where I need them to be, driving them next to where the platform is going to be. It's so quick and easy to measure, cut it right there, lift it, put it down. It was just, I don't know how I survived without a forklift, but yeah. Time for a shop tour. Yes, I will do Creator's here. Hey. I will do a shop tour in August because speaking of resting time and taking a break, I'm going to take a break in August. There's some stuff behind the scenes that I'm working on, but I'm taking a break from YouTube. But of course, I don't want to leave you without any videos. So in August, I will do stuff that is requested, like the shop tour. I have some compilation videos that I want to do, and the Klaus experience, yeah. And so August, I will have a shop tour then. What else? I wanted to post on Patreon, but I forgot. But it's really important for you all, if you are Patreon supporters, there are different tiers. So Patreon, if you don't know, I could do the whole page. I know it's Skillshare. Oops, I messed up. Because I did so many Skillshare integrations in my videos that I can play it. Skillshare is an online video platform for creators who are interested in videography, photography, and much, much more. Either way, I'm talking about Patreon. If you are a Patreon supporter, there are different tiers. And for the highest tier, you get a postcard from me every month. And now, ever since Janine joined the team, so it's Janine and me now tackling all of this, she took over the Patreon shipments and all of that. So she's sick. She had to have surgery on her back a month ago. I think Janine is in the chat. How long have you been gone? Like way too long, but she's been gone for, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. And she's still in recovery, needs to do some training and all of these things. Woo, somebody get blocked. We have a very strict no asshole in the chat policy, so be careful. Marielle has she's happy to block all the assholes for us. So thanks, Marielle. So until Janine is back, I don't have the time to ship out the postcards, unfortunately, or the other rewards. But she will take care of this as soon as she gets back, and then you will get 2 postcards. And everybody who signed up for the patches, you will all get the patches. So don't worry, but there's a little bit of a delay because the best member of the team is missing. So yeah, yes, 1 month ago. Janine is in the chat. Everybody say hi to Janine and wish her well. She had major surgery on her back, and she is improving and taking it like a champ and doing all her exercises to get better. And I'm so happy once she's back in the shop. So, and she's quarantined as well. Like, so 2 negatives, two things she has to deal with. I wrote down a couple of things that I wanted to give updates on. So Janine and Patreon, everybody on Patreon, I'm sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, but we will catch up. For the German listeners or viewers who listen to the Rabe and Kampf podcast, we discontinued our podcast 2 weeks ago, I think. We had this podcast, Melanie Rabe and I, about creativity, being self-employed or being self-employed in a creative field. And we talked 1 hour every Monday about creativity in general. And then after 83 episodes, we wanted to record and we're like, we should switch the format because we kind of said it all. Everything we know about creativity, we said it all. So instead of dragging it on or suddenly having a podcast that's repetitive, we pretty much spontaneously decided to just stop it. And that is that. So I think that's a really cool thing. And maybe in the future we can talk about that. Like, when is a story told? When is a project done? Knowing when to stop because that way we're on super good terms. We can't wait to start the next project. But this chapter is over. It was just really interesting that we both felt the same way at the same time and spontaneously decided to discontinue the podcast. So, and another thing, a couple months ago, we got an offer from a big streaming, provider to go kind of exclusive, and we didn't feel it. We didn't feel good about it, even though there was like money in it and all these things, and we didn't agree. So good thing for us. Otherwise, we would have been trapped in a contract now. So that's another thing to consider. I think it's very, very interesting perspective. When to stop, when to say no, when to say yes, when to continue, when to keep going. These are all interesting aspects, I think. So maybe we can talk about that in the future. Another news, I don't know if you have seen the... Dude, I look tired. I slept so much since yesterday afternoon. Either way, I should have a filter. What was I saying? Oh, if you have seen the video, can I post it in the chat? You guys figure it out. You can find the latest video I did about the bench that I repaired, a public bench. Something, it really resonated with me, and the whole idea of this guerrilla making is something that I'm very, very interested in. This will not be the last project. Also, the storytelling of the video, I very much enjoyed. I love the new format. But I get so much attention for this video. So there will be interviews. I have 2 interviews on Monday. There were some reposts. There seems to be something that resonates with more people than usual. So that's very interesting. And I got a lot of messages. So guerrilla making is something, I think that's something that I will look into more. And I hope you do too. And there was so much, now that I have you here, there was a big discussion about the palettes that I used. Maybe it wasn't even a big discussion, but it felt big to me because it's so weird to get negativity about something that you really did your best to do good, right? And there were people commenting that it's like horrible that I'm using the tropical woods, and that this is like all wrong and we shouldn't do it. So the reason that the disposable pallets are made of tropical woods is that usually if you buy wood from a different country, they will make the pallets from the scraps of the good wood that they sell. So yes, it's tropical wood, but it's the scraps. It's the splint, it's B-grade wood. Shipping tropical wood around the world in the first place is something I absolutely do not agree with, and I don't think it's necessary. But when the pellet is here, letting it go to waste rather than turning it into a positive, I don't think that's the approach either, right? So, and then if you see somebody try to do good, don't attack them. That's because it kind of makes me not want to address these topics because I don't want to deal with the backlash. So I remember when I recorded the video, do I mention that this is tropical wood? Yes or no? Because I knew that it would trigger people. And I, of course, know that tropical, it's a big problem we have. But I think we need to be very sensitive. If somebody is a vegetarian, don't bash him for not being vegan. That will not make anything better. So focusing on the good, focusing on the positive of the story, I think is way better and more encouraging for other people to try, to do the same, rather than pointing out, well, okay, yeah, maybe you saved something, but also your shoes were leather and that's not vegan. You know what I mean? So it's so easy to get caught up and, catching other people doing something wrong. I think it would be good to focus on people doing something good, at least trying, because it's so hard to do it all right. Even though I still think it is better to turn a tropical wood pellet into something than just throwing it in the fire, right? But I can't. And my topic, and that's another thing, like my topic is recycling. That's something that I'm super passionate about. My topic is building. I love building stuff, and I try to be as conscious as possible in my field that I'm trying to do good in, or that I'm trying to work in and be sustainable. But that the rainforest in Brazil is like in a horrible condition, I that's not my topic, you know what I mean? So there are people who are experts in that topic, and they will talk about it, and they will have initiatives, and they will have stuff that they fight for, but only because there's a little bit of a crossover, this is not automatically my topic. My topic is I deal with the waste that I see potential in and try to turn it into a positive. Wow, I didn't even want to talk about this, but I just think it's so destructive. You know, there are people trying, and you can nitpick and you can find something to point out, like some negative everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But making it a habit to addressing the things that are good and that come from a good place, I think that's so much better, and that would change a lot. Okay, so this is not about motivation. I didn't even read the chat. I hope you guys agree with me. But yeah. Okay, let's talk about motivation, right? Let's try let's do a bit. If the audio and the video gets choppy, let me know. And then I'll find a piece of cardboard that I can draw on. Maybe let's try it one time, and then we'll see. Okay, first of all, background black, and then white paint, and then, okay, got the pen. Cool. You can see that? I'm watching the chat. You can see that, right? Does it get choppy if I draw like this? Can you still hear me? It's lagging and choppy now for me. Oh shit, already? Yes. Yes, we can see it. Yo, squiggle. Okay, cool. So let's keep it like that. Okay, and it's not choppy, right? Okay. No. What? Yes, you're fine. Okay, good. That's great. Okay, so this is where you are. And this is the thing you want to do, right? And this could be anything. The thing could be anything. Lagging, not choppy. Okay, good. The thing could be like the book you want to write, or the film you want to shoot, or whatever, right? And this whole thing is your why. Like, why do you even want to do this? I think it's very, very important that you figure this out before you even get started. And it doesn't have to be something huge. I talked about the why in the last live stream, where I talked about making money. I think in the first hour I talked about the why a lot, but it's really, really important to figure that out. And it doesn't have to be because I want to save the world, or because, I don't know, like your reason for doing all of this is yours. You don't have to share it with anybody. I said it many times, like for me, why is no other place for me. There's nothing else that I want to do, you know, or this, to phrase it, wouldn't be making stuff all the time, I would be super unhappy. And that is my why. I couldn't do it anywhere else. I'm on YouTube because there's no other place for me. And I do it because if I wouldn't, I would be very, very unhappy, which eventually would turn me into a bad person or something, right? Because I'm unhappy and I'm frustrated. So figure out your why. The whole thing, what's that? The whole thing is your why. Figure this out, because it helps staying motivated. It's getting choppy again. Okay, cool. So how do you get from where you are now to the thing that you want to make, right? I have thought about this a lot, and I think there's a good analogy when you think about a car, right? So this is your car. You're in the car. The car is from now to the thing that you want to make. And you are the driver, right? So you are the driver. Your body, motor. And by that I mean the physical capabilities you need to do whatever you want to do, that's your body. So it could be like, for me, I need a certain point of physical fitness. I am not super fit, but I need to be healthy. I need to be in healthy shape. So I take care of my body so I can spend 12 hours of workshops. I don't get tired all the time. So I have enough strength to lift wood or whatever, like very simple things. If you want to be a writer, your capabilities will be different, or like an actor, all different capabilities. But generally, it is your responsibility to take care of your body as if it was a motor. That's how I picture it, right? If I want this body to work, if I want my car to take me from A to B, the motor needs to run. That means I need to take care of the oil. I need to, change it every once in a while. I need to do some maintenance stuff. And that is eating good food, being outside, exercising. I'm not into sport at all. I hate sport. The only reason I'm trying to do a little bit of running is because I know it's good for my body and I need my body in order to work. So this is your responsibility to take care of your body and be as careful and as positive with it as you can in your I need my oil changed in your capabilities, right? This does not make sense. What? Okay, hear me out, Annie. This will make sense. Well, maybe it doesn't make sense. It makes sense in my head, right? Let's go back to the... I think it might get choppy when I turn on the iPad. It totally makes sense. Thanks, Aaron. Okay, let's go back. You are the driver. Your body is the motor. And then the spark plug, that is the inspiration, right? This is what sets the whole machine. Like it sparks, what a spark plug does, right? It does the little fire thing, and then the motor starts to run. Now, your motivation is the fuel. Your machine can be intact, your spark can be intact. Without fuel, you will not be able to get anywhere. So I think it makes sense. If you think of it like that, like fuel is nothing that comes magically out of nowhere. Fuel is something that you need to plan for. If you drive a car, you know this. Somebody's posting a plane crashing. So when I drive my car, I always know how much fuel I have, or at least I know when I need to go to a gas station and refuel. This is something that I know is critical, and I know it will not work without this. I think motivation is the same thing. It is the energy source that really moves everything. Without motivation, I mean, there's discipline, right? You can do a lot of stuff with discipline. So discipline make up for motivation, but motivation is like discipline, only more fun. And since we're trying to have fun with everything we do, I think it's better to be motivated out of yourself to be a self-starter rather than being a super disciplined person that just does everything because it's a rule, because that's the plan that I made for myself. It's cooler to just do it out of self-motivation, right? At least that is my goal. Sometimes it only works with discipline, but the further I can travel with motivation, the better it is, right? Okay, so now I think there are a couple things. Maybe it's tricks, I'm not even sure. But I think aspects. Aspects that help me to deal with my fuel better. Hold on, I need a new thing. And let's start with the most important thing, right? I'm not sure if this is actually the right word. Hold on. No, I didn't give the pitch to Janine. Oh, is the jacket you're wearing the one you created yourself? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is the first test jacket, so that's why it's white on the inside. But yeah, check this out. The color is blue, and it has this cool neck thing. I am working on this. Actually, right now the plan is to release the patterns as a download, or we will print it and ship it for you before we even release the physical thing. So only makers can have it because you have to make it themselves. Either way, okay. Oh, Andy, hey, I'm glad you like this. I'm not even sure if I'm making sense at this point, but if we all agree, just for 1 second, even if it doesn't make any sense now, that motivation is the fuel that keeps our car going, right? There are a couple things. Same thing with fuel. I will start with the most important thing, and this is actually something that I didn't know for the longest time, but if you think, hold on, how do I phrase this? So, if I don't exactly know what a catalyst does, right? But I think it takes something bad and filters it and turns it into something better, right? Is that true? Is that what a catalyst does? If you deal with motivation like that, I think it's really interesting to view motivation as a thing that can turn an emotion into action, and that can turn a negative into a positive. And that's something that I admire so much about motivation, is that you can take something that really pisses you off, like somebody said something bad to you, somebody treated you wrong, all these things that happen to everybody on a day-to-day basis, and turn that into motivation to get something done. It's because the world, because there's so many assholes in this world, this technique means that motivation is never going to like, what's the word? It's not like fossil fuel. What's the opposite of fossil fuel when it's not like an endless source of energy? If you do it right, and if somebody treats me wrong, I can be bitter about this, or I can use this anger and these negative emotions and use it, like turn it into fuel to get my own stuff going. It doesn't even have to be related to that person. I mean, it does work too if somebody says, you can never do it, Laura, you will never do it. This is motivation for me to show him or her, of course I can do it. Here you go, this is it. But it can be something completely different. Like somebody said something stupid in the supermarket and I feel bad about this, or it makes me angry. I go to the shop and I don't want to have this energy inside of me. I don't want to have any negativity inside of me. So I go to the shop and get rid of it. This is an unlimited supply of energy, all the assholes in the world, and you can turn a negative into a positive if you have the right outlet. I think that's so magical. That's like alchemy. That's so good to know that negativity, if you have the right mindset, can be something very So that's the catalyst, right? If you have the right setting on your catalyst, can you set the catalyst? I think it's something that you can't set, but let's pretend. Then your supply of motivation and supply of energy can be very, very, very efficient. I still hope that you don't have to deal with assholes that much. And also this works with positive emotions as well. Let assholes be your motivation, yeah. It works with positivity too, right? If something awesome happened, or remember when we could go out and meet friends and we had a really cool night out, and then the next day I'm so happy because I missed them all and we had a great time. That's energy too. Like making stuff is my outlet for all the emotions, right? It's like painting. Some people sing, some people write a book, other people go for a run. Whatever your thing is, use these outside emotions or situations to turn it into energy. Marielle, another interesting thing about catalyst, it takes a very small amount of a catalyst to make things go quicker and better. Aha, interesting. So this analogy does make sense somehow, huh? So are you following? Does this still make sense? Write yo in the comments if you think that this is something that makes sense. The shop isn't accessible anymore. What? Oh, the merch shop. Yeah, we took it down because we're changing everything about it. We have a different company that we work with, different supply chain, different logistics, different production, which is way as fair and as ecological as merch can be. All right. So, but there will be new merch stuff in Janine, maybe 6 weeks, maybe? We don't know. Okay. First is, let's write it down. Okay, can I write catalyst? Catalyst? Oh, sorry, didn't switch the camera. Is that with a Y or with an I? Oops. What? Oh, I changed colors again. Is that right? No. Something is very wrong here. Did I tell you guys that I'm dyslexic? Hold on, let's try again. Catalyst. Is that what we had before? Catalyst. Yeah. Okay, catalyst is number 1. Number 2 is the mileage. And that means be efficient with the fuel that you have. And that's another thing. As I said, I'm not into sports. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for applauding me for writing catalyst. Only wrong ones. Spit new AG. Maria, I was trying to understand what he was trying to say, but I didn't get it. Is there another mistake in mileage as well? What the fuck? Okay, I could say that this is because it's not my language. Mileage. How did you write this? Mileage. But I'm just as horrible in German. I just. Yes. I think it's better to leave the iPad out of this. So, okay, mileage. How efficient do you use your fuel? And as I said before, I'm not big into sports, but never in the winter, but always starting spring and until autumn, I try to run every once in a while. And one observation that I made that I never knew before I started running is that you can get rest even when you're running. Like there are different routes that I'm running. They're like uphill, downhill, and flat parts of it. Uphill, of course, is a nightmare. Downhill, I don't like either because it's so heavy on the knees. But the flat parts, even though I'm still running and even though this is still exhausting, I still get some rest because it's not as exhausting as running uphill or downhill. So just make sure that you are efficient with the fuel that you have, especially if you don't have a lot of motivation. Don't make it hard on yourself. Don't run uphill so much. Try to be in the flat spots as much as possible in your project or in your writing or whatever it is. All these points that I'm going to make, which is not like, I don't know, these are just, I'm just trying to get my ideas about motivation across, right? This is not a checklist. You need to do all of these 3 or 6 points and then you will be a motivated person. This is just a perspective that helps me to understand how this works and helps me find a way to be motivated. But it's like lighting a fire. There are different ways to do it, and in different situations, different techniques apply, right? So that's what I'm trying to do with pointing the catalyst, the mileage, and all the other points that I'm going to say. Sometimes, depending on what, it's more important to focus on preserving the fuel. Other times, it's more important to just get a little bit to get started, and then you will get going by yourself. You need to know what you need right now in order to stay motivated. It's all about you knowing your why and you knowing your process and you knowing yourself. Like, how do you perform, for the lack of a better word? So the next point I want to make is, how is the choppiness of the camera? Okay, I am pretty confident that I will not make a spelling mistake in this one. Here you go. Do it yourself. And by that, I mean, drive it yourself. You need to be the driver of the car in order to make sure that you have control about the motivation. And this is something that I didn't understand for the longest time because I always thought that I was a big team worker, and sometimes I always like to work in a team. Sometimes I'm good in a team, but usually I work better by myself because I'm in control of, the speed, and I'm in control of the mileage, of the catalyst, of all of these things. So drive it yourself. Don't rely on other people to come by and take the driver's seat and get the car going so you can go from now to the thing that you want to make. Don't depend on anybody else, because that's just excuses, at least in my experience. So when I studied design, we had a lot of teamwork. And teamwork for me, when I'm super honest, often meant, awesome, somebody else is doing it. And also teamwork for me often meant I have excuses not to finish something because I'm waiting for this and this and this. I can't write this book because I need the, I don't know, whatever from whoever, I can't start building this thing because Jeff wanted to come by and help me figure something out. You know what I mean? No. Don't do this. You can still do teamwork, of course, but never put for your project, never put somebody else in the driver's seat. If there's something that you need somebody else to, check with yourself that you don't make excuses for yourself. Somebody is responsible for that. Does that make sense? And I'm not sure if everybody is that way. Breaking Mark spells DIY correctly on the live stream. it's funny. If you're having a hard time getting started, just oh, that's really good. Roll start the car. That's really good. I will write this down because I was looking for something for the analogy to say that usually work comes first and then comes motivation. So roll start the car is a good picture for that. Don't wait for the. I will write this down. Let's make point 4 because I think the drive it yourself. I think I made the point clear, right? You are in charge, and you are in charge. You drive the car. Roll start. I'm not sure if this is really. I'm not sure if this is really full point, but let's just take it as a full point for now. Thank you so much. Sluck Biker. Am I out of focus the whole time? All right. Carly, you still have to do maintenance on your car. Don't expect others to fix your car. Yes, don't expect others to fix your car. It's really good. Work first, then motivation. There are tricks to, and that's road something that has really good. That's a really good image. I'm happy I read that. I'm happy you said that. Waiting for motivation to kick in to get out of bed is tricky. Having a morning routine gets you out of bed, and then you're standing, and then you have your coffee, and then you go to the shop, and then you kind of already in it is much, much easier. So work first, then motivation. Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes I'm so excited, like I have this idea, and I'm so excited that all this excitement gets me out of bed. It makes me skip the coffee and just makes me run straight to the shop and get into it. But on other days, I need to start with a routine in order to roll start the car. So, and then the motivation will come. That's another thing, is not the goals that you have. Don't put them too far away. Like if your goal is getting rich and famous, that's too far. Like that's, if that will ever happen, it's too far ahead. If your goal is, I want to see how it looks like if I connect these two. If your goal is, I want to see how it looks like if I connect these two pieces together. That's my goal for today. I want to see what it looks like when I planed off the pallet wood. I want to put oil on it and see how the grain pops. Those are great goals, like tiny baby steps. How do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece, right? So that's another good idea, is when you have your why figured out, figure out your goals and try to make them like little wins, daily, weekly, daily or hourly, or even every minute, something that you can achieve that then motivates you, like the Produktionsstolz. What's the production pride? Is that a word? Production pride? Chat, where are you at? Okay, cool. Roll start. Number 5, I am pretty confident I can write this word as well, is the road. And I kind of talked about this a little bit but also sometimes it's good to not think about the process. Sometimes it's good to just, I know what I have to do. I planed what I have to do. I planed wood 1,000 times. I know the steps. I will put in a podcast and I will just put my head down and chose this road of comfort because I've been here 1,000 times to get the job done. Other times, in order to be motivated, I need something exciting. I need to take a detour. I need to drive somewhere I have never been before. So this time it's hand planes only. And this is what motivates me to keep going. Can I do this without electricity, or can I do this without a planer at all? Like, is there a way to just do it on the table saw? I'm always in the maker analogies, but I think this works for everything else. choosing the road and choosing the navigation where you want to go and what you need today. There are days. Oh, Smudo is outside. Totally forgot about him. Well, let me check if he's okay. Oh yeah, he's fine. He's sitting in the sun. He's sitting in the sun, barking at the birds. Yeah, sometimes you need comfort in knowing that you have been here before, you know how all of this works. Sometimes you need excitement in order to keep going. So pick your road. And then now it's going to be difficult because I don't even know. No, I need help. How do you write maintenance? Come on, Chad, don't let me hang. Maintenance, I think maintenance is a word like Connecticut or something, where management, where a lot of different letters that you did not expect. Maintenance, see, there are so many N's in there that you don't even hear. Maintenance, you only hear one N. Maintenance. Boop. You know, there are moments where I think because I was really big surprise, I was really bad at school, and there are moments where I think like, I wish my teachers could see me. This is not one of those moments. Okay, so maintenance, I talked about this a little bit. Take care of your car, take care of your motor, make sure you have the right license plates. I don't know which would be the analogy for a forklift license, of course. So make sure you have all the things that you need, and that you also put some time in maintaining. Oh, now it makes sense. That's where it comes from, maintaining and okay, good, I get it now. Now I know where all the ends are coming from. That you take some time to take care of your car, which is, of course, yourself, your shop, your process, your materials, your tools. All of this needs to work if you want them to be ready for you when motivation hits and you want to go from now to your project. Again, that's why these live stream weeks are fantastic, because just time in the shop is so important to keep everything going. And then I wrote 7, but I didn't write anything. That's probably when I started building up the camera. Maybe something else, like, did I miss something? Do you have more cool ideas? Because this could definitely, more cool ideas, because this could definitely, Flo as well. Maintenance. Kick off, yes, absolutely. Take a break, probably, like taking breaks, like the truck drivers who have to take breaks every 4 hours. I mean, I think there's a lot covered. So if we go back, to this, I mean, 6 points is better anyways, right? I think it would be even better if we could distill it down to 3. I mean, I think honestly, road and mileage could be the same thing. Maintenance. Fuel your car. Yeah, that's the maintenance is fuel. Well, I mean, yeah, and fuel is the motivation, right? 7 is left to the student. How do you define motivation? What is the first thing you need to do? Well, I kind of defined it in the stream, right? 50 minutes. Okay, more. The car needs fuzzy dice. That's true. You lost the key. Annie, weren't you the one saying that this doesn't make any sense? Maybe this analogy is not for you then, right? Yeah, keep it fresh. Josh said, think outside the box, keep it fresh. I think that's the detour thing. That's like picking the road. Yes, go, Annie, go for a roll start. Once a year washing, that would be maintenance as well, I think. I think we can, okay, so we could have 5 maintenance, roll start. I don't know. We can think about this, but I think it sums it up pretty much. And then there are like, oh, I'm late to the game. Brand is important for the car analogy. Yes, definitely. I'm not sure if that has to do with motivation, but it's good. It fits in the analogy. Maybe we can build the whole unlock your creative self explained by this car analogy. Probably. At the end of the day, I think it's important what works for you. And as the biggest prize for me was that it, like, whole catalyst thing, that something negative can be something positive when you have the right catalyst, and then everything can be motivation. And I think it's like in love, motivation, everything is fair. Everything is fair in love, motivation. It doesn't matter what motivates you, right? It doesn't have to be a noble thing. It can be anything. If it's money, then it's money. If it's showing your parents, oh, that's this cool story that I think Bruce Springsteen said this, that every rock star is basically standing on stage screaming, "Hey, look at me, Dad," which I think is painfully true, probably. But it doesn't matter what it is, you know. It can be anything. It can be ridiculous stuff, but if it motivates you, it motivates you. That's fine. You can keep it for yourself. You don't have to tell anybody what motivates you. So just M. Punkt, what's going on? Nice. Roll start method works. Sorry, I'm reading the chat for a little bit. If you are a group, you can motivate each other. Yeah, that's another cool thing for the drive it yourself. Even though I think it's best not to depend on other people's motivation, you can always invite a couple people in to your car and take them with you, and, you know, offer your motivation to them. I think it's not good to rely on it to be motivated by other people, but I think, you know, the motivation is not, what's that, like, aufbrauchen, braucht sich nicht auf, is not getting less when you share it with somebody else. You know, I'm not half as motivated if I tell you about this thing that I really want to do. I'm so excited, and can you imagine? And imagine this works out. I'm not less motivated because I'm telling you about it, and you might be motivated by it too, or go like, really? Oh no, shit, yeah, I've never thought about it that way. Let's try it, or I will try my own version. So, M. Punkt, hi. So I think those are things that help me, and maybe they help you too. And if not, then I'm sorry if it doesn't make any sense to you. Okay, cool. I think the roll start really resonated with you guys. Motivation can become contagious. Yup. I would argue even with the car, you need to look after yourself. Yeah, that's all maintenance. That's all maintenance. That's what I said in the beginning. Talking. Let's put up the first drawing. So yeah, you are the driver, your body is the motor, and maintaining these things, also the inspiration, so that when inspiration hits and you get a spark, that it hits the fuel and you can get going and try to do your thing, right? So taking care, that's essential. That's the foundation of all of this. So that's the most important thing, taking care of yourself, taking care of your shop, taking care of your tools, that everything is ready to go when you want to get started, when the motivation hits, when the inspiration. So I think this is it doesn't seem like this is for you, so that's fine too. You know, as I said, there are different things or methods, tricks or viewpoints that work for different people, and those are mine. I try to pack it up in the car analogy. It works for me, and then that's fine. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine too. Make your own analogy. You know, try to define what it is that keeps you going or that helps you get started, and then just understanding how it works is the whole key to the whole thing. Understanding yourself. It's not about understanding others, making others understand you in these things. It's just about understanding yourself and understanding how you work and what is motivation for you, how you keep it going, how long does it keep going without you doing anything, how much maintenance does it need. That's all for you to figure out, right? Okay, cool. Are there any more questions that are not related to this? We can do a little bit of Q&A, and then I think we've already made an hour, right? So I'm waiting for the chat to catch up. I define motivation. Motivation is fuel. Motivation is whatever your analogy is. The motivation in my analogy is the fuel that keeps the car going. If you have a different analogy, then motivation for me, it's where the energy comes from. This is what gets me going. As I said in the beginning, it can be replaced with discipline, but it is more fun if it's less about discipline and more about motivation, right? Right. And that is it. Yeah. Bounce ideas from and to other shared. Yeah. Bounce ideas from and to other shared ideas, like-minded makers. Yeah, that's true. Everyone has different forms of motivation. Cool. I think we should wrap it up. It's been an hour almost. And hey, why is the autofocus so bad? Maybe this could be your motivation to write a book and clean out with all the nonsense that everybody is talking. You know, I love your handwriting when I turn it into font so I can. Yeah, I don't want to do the handwriting font thing. I kind of like it because the thing is, a handwritten font, and I talk about this at length in the other live stream I did about hand lettering. Like a handwritten font, I think only looks cool when it's actually handwritten. If you imagine that there's a if you imagine a word that has like 2 R's in it, like guerrilla, then having a handwritten font and the same R, but it's the same R but handwritten with the same mistakes and flaws, it looks weird. It looks off. I think there are softwares where you can have 3 different kinds of R's and they interchange it, but still, I think handwritten fonts need to be handwritten. I'm sorry. I get this question a lot. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, the poster is so much nicer, though. That's better. Okay, cool, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I will see you next week with a new video, of course. I'm still not sure what I'm doing, but after a week of cleaning, I am super motivated to drive my car to the thing. All right, cool. See you all later. Bye.